Expect me, nigga, like you expect Jesus to come back. Expect me, nigga. I'm coming.
I saw Pac 20 minutes before he got shot. I saw Pac in Vegas, about to get into the car. He's coming out the hotel. And we walked off, and we got in the cab, and they got in the Bentleys and all that other stuff. And, you know, we went on to another party, and 20 minutes later, we heard Pac got shot.
I was at Warren G's house in the living room. I think we was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little shit.
I remember calling a Fanny and saying, "Faye, do I need to get on a plane right now?" She said, "Jada, he's gonna be okay. You get here when you can."
I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see my nigga, you know what I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was gonna make it.
It was Pac. He'd been shot before. Fine.
Our first reaction was, again? You know what I mean? And then he was like, he gonna be all right, because, you know, this after he got shot 5 times.
He was like a cat with like 9 lives.
I had went to see him when he was still alive. And I said a little prayer to him in his head and held his hand and whispered at him, you know, said my piece with him. You know, he didn't have no consciousness, but I felt like my spirit and his spirit connected, and I felt like he got it.
When I heard that Tupac died, I was cooking in a restaurant. It was a sports bar, so there was a big TV screen, and we all just kind of watched it, just like, you know, just dazed.
My mother knocks on the hotel door. Will opens the door. Soon as I see her face, I knew he was gone.
I cried like my mother cried when Marvin Gaye died.
A lot of people that worked at the job that I worked at didn't understand Tupac or didn't understand the music, so we're looking at us like, what's wrong? What's the big deal? Get over it. And it's like, nah, this is a really fucked up day. For the longest, I think anybody who has something to do with hip-hop and loved the music there was a sense of mourning for a long time.
Could it be my destiny to be lonely and checking for these bitches that be on me cause they phony? With you is different.
Because I feel like the same people that was trying to kill Pop was trying to kill Suge. You know what I'm saying? Them bullets was coming for everything in that car.
But let's talk about Big and Pac. I mean, what do you think killed Pac?
I don't know, because I was supposed to be there. I was supposed to be in the car with them, but, you know, situation was, you know, me and Pac had a little falling out a day or two before that in New York.
What about Big?
That I don't know. That I don't know. That I don't know. That I don't know.
At this point in the conversation, Keefe D looks squarely at us and says, "That wasn't us." He knows that we think that he's potentially involved in the Biggie Smalls murder. So when he says, "That wasn't us," it begs the question, well, then what was?
That I don't know, because actually I was on my way to that party, and from my understanding, it was a nice thing. It was cool. Everybody, it was west, east, it was all love. So to me, it just felt like a hater. But
Tupac at night engaged in a conversation with the females, telling them to meet them at the club. Because they're focused on the females, they failed to see the white, late-model Cadillac pulling up to their right.
The Cadillac is being driven by Terrence Brown. The Cadillac is being driven by Terrence Brown.
Back you down like Shaq Daddy and bust on you out the new caddy. Back you down like Shaq Daddy and bust on you out the new caddy. And skirt up Wilshire Boulevard. And skirt up Wilshire Boulevard.
After firing his weapon, the shooter makes a quick right onto Wilshire Boulevard.
March 9th, Biggie and his crew exited the Peterson Automotive Museum there, proceeded north on Fairfax, so they stopped at the intersection, at which point the assailant's vehicle pulled up alongside their right side, fired approximately 6 to 10 shots, and then fled east on Wilshire.
And skirt up Wilshire Boulevard.
After which Biggie's crew drove west on Wilshire to Cedars-Sinai Hospital.
I think Pac, by most people, is viewed as the greatest rapper of all time because he had a futuristic pen about himself. His pen sometimes wrote the future, and it told a story of what it's going to be as opposed to what it is. And now it's prophesied. You're starting to see it and you're starting to hear it. And it makes him seem like one of the greatest philosophers of the world because his pen told you this years ago. He wrote what's happening nowadays. He's seen it. So it puts him on a level of a spirit or a god when you're able to profess and manifest that through your pen. Like he wrote his death before his death happened. He shot the video for I Ain't Mad At You a week before he got killed. Like, why would you do a video about you getting killed and then a week later you get killed? Why would you write songs about, you know, dear mama and being a loving son to your mama and all of these things kick into play now?
Yeah, and there's a bullet coming at him on his last album cover, you know, the Machiavelli album and everything.
He knew it. He worked like a fucking racehorse. Like, the way I work now, I ain't half as what he is. Like, here Usain Bolt, and I'm like Carl Lewis. But this motherfucker, and I swear to God, this how this nigga used to work. We be in the studio, he'll make a song, it'll be like 30 niggas in here. He'll make a song, he'll let him get on the song, him get on the song, him get on the song. As soon as the song go off, he won't even listen to it. Put that shit over there, pull the next beat up. He get on to the next beat. They writing some more shit. Boom, they finish that song, then he say, I'm gonna do one by myself. 20 minutes later, he in that motherfucker spitting it. This 3 songs this nigga done did in an hour. 3 songs, he ain't listened to nan one of them. Then he may go smoke and chill or whatever, drink, come back, pull another beat up. When he in this motherfucker making music. Everybody in here making music. And that's what we didn't have on Death Row Records. We was so used to. Dr. Dre told us, when we gonna be in the studio, he got one beat playing, and we gonna write to this one beat. All day till we make a hit record. This motherfucker Tupac. But then when we do a song with Dre, if we finish with it, we listen to that motherfucker all day. Everybody come in and we play that motherfucker. They put it in the car, we listen to it. Take it to the house, we listen to it. And then we come back and do a song maybe a week later. But see, the Tupac thing was, so it's like, to me, why the fuck was he working so fast and so hard and trying to finish all these records up?
He knew.
He had to know.
He had to hurry up and get all that music out. That's what I heard people say.
The last time I saw him, he was laying in the bed, holding on to his last breath. Man. Well, I had seen him before that because we left New York. We had just left New York. I had got off the radio station with Angie Martinez, and that's when me and him like clashed because she asked me on the air, how do you feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I said what I felt. They're my homeboys. I love them. When I got back to the hotel, it was a whole nother atmosphere. Like, he sent his homeboy up to get the bud from me as opposed to him coming to get it. Mutai came and got the bud. Pac wants some bud. Hold on. Tell him to come up here. He ain't coming up here. Give me the bud. I'm going to take it to him. So I felt funny. And then my uncle said something about, you know, they downstairs talking and blah, blah, blah. So when we got on the plane to go back to L.A. the next day, Suge didn't let none of my security ride with me. I had to ride on the plane with him, his homies, and Pac. And it was the most uncomfortable ride I ever had in my life because my nigga didn't say nothing to me the whole ride. And that's a 5-hour flight on a private plane.
Yeah.
So I walk up to him like maybe 3 hours into the flight, sit next to him like, you going to Vegas, cuz? And he turned on me like this and started talking to somebody else. So I'm like, all right. So I go in the back, put the blanket on my head, knife in my hand, fork in my hand, and just sleep the rest of the ride. because I feel like they finna try to do something to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get off the plane, we land. He walk out. I got a Rolls Royce. He got a Rolls Royce. He walked down the steps. I walked down the steps. We meet right here. I'm like, cuz, you going to Vegas? He do me like this. Went his way and he went my way. Next time I get a call, you know, niggas like, turn on the news, cuz. I'm at Warren G house. We turn on the news, we see yellow tape, Suge BMW.
Mm-hmm.
Call Suge, he like, yeah, they whoop-de-whoop, come on out here now. Drive out there. I see him in the bed, laid up, no words, no conversation. I see Jesse Jackson, his mama. His mama pulled me to the side. She make me feel like a real player, because she tell me, my baby loved you, and I love you. And I don't care. She just hit me with what I needed to hear,
Mm-hmm.
you know, coming from my mother. Because she was strong at that time. Everybody else was crying and breaking down. She was real strong. And she just held me real tight, and she just said a prayer with me. And I know I went there, I hollered at him for about 20 minutes, and I went in the bathroom. I fainted. I threw up. I just was like, I was gone. Like my whole, because me and my homie wasn't straight.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not even going to be able to apologize to him, or even just to tell him, I feel you, I'm wrong or whatever. We never got that day, and that's the way it ended with me and him, to where he passed away, and I never got a chance to, you know, apologize or even just tell him, you know, what is it? How can we fix this?
Mm-hmm.